Copacabana, Hong Kong. Or as in Alicia Keys' song Empire State of Mind, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Benidorm. Yes, if you have ever heard about Benidorm, it's most likely for its nightlife, and I did certainly have the most unflattering elements of over-tourism in mind when Inside Flyer was invited to visit this unique Spanish city. But after having spent some days at the Spanish Mediterranean coast, my perception of Benidorm has completely changed, as the city offers so much more than thought.
Benidorm was a really small village in the past, in the 50s. We were just 5,000 inhabitants, 6,000 inhabitants, but that's where everything started. The main industry in that decade was the fishing of the tuna. They were really good experts on that techniques, and that means they were not just fishermen, they were marine merchants. So they travel abroad, all the countries, all Europe, America, Asia, so they export their techniques. That means they bring back all the things that they see around in Benidorm, and that's why we say the local people of Benidorm is really different. And that's one of the reasons nowadays Benidorm is so different compared to other cities in Spain. In the 50s, we've seen that change. The tuna fishing was going down, so they had to look new ways of surviving in another industry. And one of them was the tourism. The first tourists started to come to Benidorm, and at that time we have our symbol, our most important person in Benidorm is called Pedro Zaragoza, the mayor on that time, and he was a really good visionary. He understood that the tourism was going to be really important here, and many things involved in this industry. The perfect location of Benidorm. We are in the perfect location, surrounded by mountains, facing to the south. We have a really good weather all year round. So all these conditions make today the Benidorm that we know.
But what exactly is Benidorm today? Its by now 75,000 inhabitants do mainly live off the touristic sector. But unlike many other cities that today experience the negative sides of tourism, Benidorm inhabitants and tourists live side by side. The real secret to what makes Benidorm so much more than just its perceived nightlife-heavy image is hidden in plain sight. To uncover it, we need to go back to the beginnings of Benidorm's touristic path.
At that time, they were not just thinking short-term, they also thinking long-term. They start to planning how Benidorm will be in the future, and that's why they start to develop a urban plan. The vertical model of Benidorm started on the 50s. They start to think, okay, we want to have more people, but we want also to protect our territory. So that's why they decided to build in vertical and not in horizontal. Nowadays, thanks to this urban model, of our municipal territory is only 38 kilometers square. 61 of the area is protected area, so nobody can build in that place. So we have natural park, we have green areas, green parks, so very important. And that time they were thinking how it will be also social and thinking on the people.
The visionary urban plan for Benidorm is the key to the city's surprisingly sustainable record today.
On this first plan, on the 1956, they developed this law. It was called 70%, 30%, and that means that they wanted to have big avenues, space between the buildings, because they don't want it to be half all together, because they want also they start to think on the people, on the tourists, that when they arrive here, they feel good, they can feel the fresh air of the sea, the sun. So in this plan, only on the parcel of every building, only the 30% of the parcel can be built. The rest has to be for gardens, swimming pools, parks. So if you come to Benidorm, you will see that we have big avenues, a lot of space between them, and that's very also inclusive and social for the people.
Innovation is key for Benidorm. Already in the early 2000s, solar panels were installed, and the city's forward thinking also reflects in being a test bed for future housing or hotels. A tech room full of clever solutions for the future hotel, making overnight stays more accessible but also greener, like with the use of special heat-absorbing paint to minimize the need of air conditioning. And looking after resources is key for the city. Water is a precious commodity, so reducing loss in the water network has meant an above-average water preservation of 95%, with the country's average being at 75%. But also locals helping locals. Finding better practices in being sustainable is part of the Benidorm mindset.
Here at Osbeck, we are a hotel association. Therefore, we have most of the hotels here in Benidorm being part of us as members. In that sense, what they do mainly is getting good practices from us. I mean, we have a common certification for all of our hotels, where we have the big hotel chains, so those who are more advanced in this sense, giving information also to the little hotels on good practices or new technologies that they are incorporating to their businesses. This allows also small hotel chains or family hotels to get those good practices and install them also in their own processes.
And while there are national systems for data gathering and sharing, staying local pays off.
The national information comes up like 2 or 3 weeks after the gathering. Here in Hosbeck, we gather all the information from the hotels and we are able to process it and to give the results to the hotels like in 1 or 2 days. So having this common organization like Hosbeck also allows the hotel to be more agile and to improve in a much more efficient way.
All of this is mostly taking place behind the scenes and will seldom be noticed by visitors. What, however, is noticeable is the city planning, making the city from buildings, viewpoints and all the way to the beach accessible for all visitors is of great importance. But also with the 70-30 building practice and high-rise buildings, the city planners back in the 1950s can with today's eyes be seen as truly visionary, as they already then were creating a walkable city that wasn't centered around cars.
Thanks again to this urban vertical model, Benidorm is a compact city, so everything is really close, so you can go everywhere walking. Right now, the 70% of the municipality can be done by foot, you don't need a car here, or by bicycle. Thanks also to this compact model, we have more than 134 kilometers of bicycle lines, so you can move everywhere with bicycle, by foot, so it's a really easy, walkable city, and that's also good for sustainability. Thanks to our low emissions area, thanks to our pedestrians ways, the quality of the air is really good here.
The efforts of the past, combined with the clever use of technologies in the present, have made Benidorm one of the perhaps most surprising sustainable destinations in Europe. Something also recognized with the award of being the European Green Pioneer of Smart Tourism 2025.
For us it has been really important because sometimes the image that people have from Benidorm, these big skyscrapers building, they think that this is not a sustainable model, but it is. So thanks to this vertical model, how we manage the resources, the water, the energy, the pollution of the air, the natural park, thanks to all these things, we can say right now Benidorm is a sustainable destination, and thanks to this award as Green Pioneer of a Smart Destination now is a next step for us.